Good evening. Casey Brittle desperately needed help. She was being abused by a violent and dangerous ex-partner. She feared for her life and called police 11 times. But still, officers weren't able to prevent what was about to happen.
After 2 years of abuse, Sanchez Williams carried out his final attack on Casey. He beat her to death. Their 2-year-old daughter was watching. Today, a report found that Nottinghamshire police had failed to properly protect Casey. Our correspondent Phil Brewster reports.
A year on, and the house where Casey Brittle was murdered remains boarded up. The 21-year-old was attacked at her home in New Basford in Nottingham by her ex-partner Sanchez Williams. She later died from a series of head injuries, including a fractured jaw. Williams was jailed for life for the murder, but it later emerged Nottinghamshire police had received 11 separate reports of domestic violence involving Casey Brittle and Williams in the 23 months leading up to her death. And the police knew Williams had a propensity for violence and threatening behaviour. The case was referred to the Independent Police Complaints Commission, who today released the findings of their report. They concluded that there were numerous examples of failings by officers in the force, including a lack of understanding of the force's domestic abuse policy and procedure, not passing on information to the domestic abuse unit, a lack of positive action against Williams or following lines of inquiry, and bail conditions preventing contact with Casey not being imposed on Williams.
Nottinghamshire police knew that there was a previous history of violence on the part of Sanchez Williams, and she had made numerous contacts with the police reporting violence against her, and in particular they failed to deal appropriately and seriously with her complaints.
The force was in a different place then, but we've made sure that every officer and member of staff knows what's required of them to make sure that this doesn't ever happen again.
I think it shows there's a problem in society still about domestic violence. 2 to 3 women are still killed each week in this country alone through domestic violence. 4 women have died in the last year. I think we all need to take domestic violence far more seriously.
A female's been returned to the address. There's a history of domestic violence there.
In recent years, Nottinghamshire police were one of several forces to be given extra cash to target those known to beat their partners. The force also has a special unit to respond to reports of domestic abuse. One local MP says the case also highlights the need to protect funding to charities who specialise in helping victims of domestic violence.
These are the sort of services that often many people will never experience or see, but they can sometimes save lives, and I'm really worried that they're being whittled away slowly.
Following the investigation into Casey Brittle's murder, 6 police officers have faced misconduct hearings. 4 others have been reprimanded. Miss Brittle's mother, Victoria Blower, has refused to blame Nottinghamshire police. She's since appeared in a police training video to show officers how to provide better support for people trapped in violent relationships. Following today's report, she also issued a statement saying, "Words cannot describe the absolute and total devastation of the day she was stolen from us. Our family will never forget the fantastic girl that lit up our lives with her gorgeous smile and her silly sense of humour." Adding that, "I know mistakes were made in dealing with previous attacks involving Casey, but there's only one person responsible for my daughter's death, and that is Sanchez Williams." Nottinghamshire police say that following Casey Brittle's death, it has completely changed the way it responds to and deals with incidents of domestic abuse. But that revised policy is currently under scrutiny. In March this year, Denise Skilbeck died after being hit 16 times with a hammer and slashed repeatedly with a knife by her partner Gary Spalding at their flat in Newark. The IPCC is currently investigating the contact Nottinghamshire police had with Miss Skilbeck relating to domestic incidents before her death. Phil Brewster in Nottingham for Central Tonight.
A teenager who was